Hi, this is Muhammad Anwar and welcome to my channel, Muhammad Anwar Project. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, and subscribe to my channel. And you can also follow me on Facebook, Muhammad Anwar, and on Instagram, Muhammad Anwar Project. Today's topic is going to be about a Christian converted to Islam in prison. I'm with the brother Javon, and we're going to I'm interviewing him on FaceTime and to touch upon that subject. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam, rahmatullah.
And the first question for you is, brother, is what's your nationality?
My national background would be Italian and African American.
Oh, okay. And what state you live in?
I'm in Nevada, Las Vegas, currently.
Okay, and where were you incarcerated at?
I was incarcerated at High Desert State Prison and also Southern Desert State Prison.
Oh, okay, and how and where did you hear about Islam?
My first actual mention of Islam was actually through, as a young boy, probably 12, 13, through the documentary of Malcolm X, as far as hearing the first words and understanding just Islam. I didn't know what it was, you know. I really didn't grow up religious. My mom didn't practice anything. My mom was Catholic, so nothing really was introduced but the media. Before 9/11 and things, it was back like doing the history of Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X, just being introduced first to Islam through that way, thinking it was just another religion.
Right.
Yeah, that was my first real mention of what Islam is.
And why you choose Islam?
Well, I chose Islam in penitentiary for various reasons. The main reason, I was a staunch Christian. You know, I dabbled with Christianity growing up. Like once I became of age and understanding, and it was brought to me about Jesus and things of that nature, and on face value, it made sense to me. On face value, how their doctrine, how it was introduced. And so I accepted Christianity at an early age. Growing up, I didn't question anything else. I just accepted the religion. Until it wasn't until I went to prison till I started really going into the Bible and really reading Old Testament, New Testament, different chapters, life of the prophets, of Jesus, and other things of that nature. Trying to get an understanding through a Christian mindset. And it was my, I want to say, ego. I wanted to save everybody, so I was asking everybody, why do you believe what you believe? Jesus is the only way, this and that. And so the Muslim brothers didn't respond to me as I thought they would with a bunch of, reasons. They basically just gave me reading material. They gave me things like, there's a book called My Great Love for Jesus Brought to Me to Islam. And there's another great book called Muslim-Christian Dialogue. And a third book was also the introduction of Jesus, how it sits in Islam. And so after reading that and then conversing with them, it was some real strong connections from what Jesus says in the Bible and what Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon them both, says, in hadiths and the Quran. And I really questioned why I believed what I believed, especially after reading the Christian Muslim dialogue, which broke down the entire doctrine and dogma of the Christian faith. And rereading that book and opened my eyes more to what the Bible was, a few chapters of the Bible, and talking to more Muslim brothers and realizing that I wasn't complete and I was kind of missing and lacking something. I was worshiping something that really wasn't meant to be worshipped. It was over time in the history of that manner of Jesus, and reading the Bibles and the chapters of basically, if he didn't know any better, he would come across Muslim in the sense of he submitted to God, and everything pointed me to Islam based on these books and tenets, and that's why I chose Islam. I almost broke down in tears when I first thought, like, am I really about to become Muslim? Because I thought it was a kind of a betraying of Jesus, but in the opposite, it's actually following the direction he possessed, and that's the real reason. It wasn't anybody pushed on me. I was actually the one asking questions because I thought I had the truth. And when they actually gave me information and I talked to these brothers, they really opened up my eyes to say, wow, I really don't know everything. And this, more than anything that I've seen, is a continuation of Jesus' teachings.
And why did you decide to stay in Islam?
The reason I stay in it, and inshallah that I would continue until I am called to my deathbed, is because the religion of self, which is basically a definition of reconnection with the Creator, is a complete information system. There's nothing lacking. It brings everything from day-to-day solutions to the problems that you have today, like how to sleep, how to eat, how to use the toilet, restroom, how to converse with your brothers, believers, non-believers, and just reading from learning about the biography, the little knowledge that I have of the Prophet Muhammad, and how all of his predictions came true, no matter how many people try to discredit the great man, peace be upon him. All those predictions came true, and science is now starting to catch up with the predictions. For instance, I believe there's a hadith where it says, Allah does not like you to sleep on your belly. And so,
yeah,
and that's forbidden, basically forbidden. And now medical research is now coming up to say it is bad for your back, because the harder the spine tends to bend if you sleep on your belly, because you have soft parts in the front, and the hard part, the hard spine is on your back, and it tends to bend, and it's ruining for your spine. So doctors suggest lay on your back now, or lay on your side, as the Prophet said over 1,400 years ago. And I believe the hadith goes somewhere, shaitan is on your back in a sense. And it just confirms more and more research, the more founded I know that this is the truth. And I don't consider it like another religion in a sense of, oh, it's a sect. It's brought down, like Jesus said, he is the true vine. This is direct information brought to a holy one of God, a prophet, a select man set apart, who did things every time, all the time, to the best of his ability, which you would call holy, and a shining example. And I've seen more times of his good character than people trying to assassinate the Holy Prophet, peace be upon his character, that he would always produce. And the few things that I've heard that are negative toward him can easily be explained away. Because to me, why stay in it, if what all the negative things they say about the Prophet are true, there's no way that a bigger following as it is today would still be around. Because no one's following Genghis Khan, no one's following Hitler in such a large and fast degree, no one's following atrocious dictators. This man was come with such a strong message, such a strong character. He was called truthful, he was called trustworthy, even before his prophethood. So his entire life just amazed me. And lastly, what I like about it, because unlike Jesus, peace be upon him too, we have more information about the prophet. We have hadiths, we have sayings, we have trusted sources we can go to. Oh, he did this, he said that, he thought this. Jesus, there's so much missing of what he did day to day, and that's what, as a Christian, I was clinging to. Because if I'm a Christian, I'm following Jesus. And there's so much missing that I can't really clutch onto to be a good Christian, in a sense of how he would find this situation, or how he would reject that situation. There's no comparative compiling, in my opinion, of his proper sayings. And so, one thing that pointed me to Muhammad was his prediction about one that would come after. You know, it's been debated about Holy Spirit and whatnot, but to me, it opened up my eyes, and Allah has opened up my heart to say that is the Holy Prophet, the seal and the final message. And so that's why I stay in Islam, because nothing after all the so-called prophets after Muhammad has not even come close to what this man has done, what Allah has allowed this man to do. So that's the reason why I stay in the religion.
Okay, and how long you been Muslim?
I'm going on, inshallah, going on 2.5 years now.
Oh, okay, alhamdulillah. And before we make a transition to Islamic service in the Nevada State Prison, do they serve pork in there, Nevada State Prison? For child?
The state actually banned pork products.
Oh, okay.
Even if you have no problem eating pork, they don't serve pork at all in there. They provide services such as what they call common fare. It's like carrots, fruits,
right,
different grains and things that are it's like a vegetarian meal for special diets. That if you're religious, you don't want to eat the meat, you don't know where it's coming from, you can choose that, and that's also another one. They also have a no meat diet one as well, called low sodium, which is basically no meat. So yeah, they don't even in the regular meal they serve no pork at all in the state of Nevada prison.
Oh, okay, I'm guessing you have to order from the store or the canteen or the vendor or something if the non-Muslim want pork, right?
Absolutely, yeah. You have to go to the store, what they call packages, where you can get like once every 3 months. You can order, shredded pork and all that. That's if you out of your own pocket.
Right.
And your intention is you want pork, you have to go through those means, yes.
And as far as the Islamic service in Nevada State Prison, where's it held at? Is it held in the chapel or where is it held at?
Well, it's held when I was there, and I'm pretty sure it's still going on. My experience was it wasn't a chapel among other religious denominations. The difference was with this, every other faith group needed an outside visitor to facilitate this. But unlike Islamic, it was an old lifer who's been down for a while, who's knowledgeable, who actually ran services, who fought for us and did certain things as far as trying to get Ramadan, some people on there, getting the information out, speaking on coupons. There would be an outside facilitator, knowledgeable Aki, come through and speak, but it wasn't necessary to have services through Christian or through Catholic, Buddha, whatever service you need an outside a vendor to come and facilitate it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have that service. I found Islam was the only one you could have in-house, as it were, to facilitate the different days. There was 2 days. One, of course, Juma on Friday. We could facilitate ourselves, and then there was one called Tazleen class, if I remember correctly. It's just a beginner knowledge, just teaching people the beginning stages of Islam. It was considered on paper a Sunni service, but all Muslims were welcome. That's just what they had on paper.
Yeah,
and
right.
Some brothers went, some didn't because it said Sunni. Others just wanted to go for fellowship or to come through, especially when the Kuba was ran. If you could. So, but they taught just the basis of the religion, the pillars, the articles of faith, things of that nature. Now to go further down into it, that's something different that they didn't really harp too much, because I know there's different, sects in that manner of Islam, but they just taught the basic tenets.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that question next. Actually, what kind of sects they have in there?
What I saw and what I asked around, majority was Sunni, and there was a small Shiite, and also I don't know if you consider Sufi or Wahhabism, what they call it. Sunni but they had those as well, and I forget the other one they had, but that was the majority of them that actually came.
Did it have the Nation Islam in there?
Oh, absolutely. Forgive me. Yes, they had Nation of Islam. Yes, and they also have the Moorish.
Yeah, that's like Noble.
You know what I'm talking about?
That's like founded by Noble Drew Ali, right?
Yeah, they had that as well. Forgive me. Yes, you brought up my memory. Yeah, they had Nation. That was also like another. They had them as well. We all did Ramadan together.
Oh, okay.
And, but they had their services, and then we had ours, the Orthodox. So, yeah, they had Nation. Yes.
So, let me get this clear. It was far as Juma's concerned, everyone that called himself Muslim would go to the same Juma, right? Friday prayer, right? You wouldn't be separate, right?
Not only ones that were separate services were Nation. Other than Nation, all of the brothers, all of the Akis would come to Juma that were willing. Yeah, they was all welcome.
Did you guys ever feuded or clashed or had a disagreement, argument with different sects there?
Oh, plenty. Oh my goodness. There'd be so many debates and so much material brought, especially because I left in Ramadan last year. And so in the course of that, there was, we come together for the prayer and the coming together, and then after prayer, we get our meal, and waiting to get our meal, that's when, people would have, there's certain groups come together, and some would ask this question, some would ask that question as far as clashing. They came to some conflict to a point, but it was always just based off material that they learned and what they were trying to show each other. So there was a bit of clashes, even with the Nation in there. With their I don't want to call it rhetoric, but with their information that they were trying to bring too. Because new bloods were coming in and trying to soak up information, so they were inclined maybe to the Nation, but then a Shiite would go and be in their ear, and they would bring that information. It would be like third party. So there'd be a few clashes, but ultimately it was respect. It was just difference of opinion. I just found it that me being new in there, I kept a third-party objective to want to get all the information and see what makes sense first. A lot of arguments came to me, and I just sifted through, what I was taught and what I saw to be correct. Now I'm still learning myself, but as far as that information, I try not to get caught up too much in the debates on that, because it can get heated, and a lot of people can be, Shaitan can take you down that road, which at the end of the day, it's not about how much information you know on that, it's about how you treat the brother. And if you're bringing so much information, you're almost disrespecting the brother in a sense, then it's not worth it. And that's what I've seen. That may be my humble opinion, but there's ways to go about doing it. And I just felt like, for the most part, it was respectful, but there was some instances it was like, man, brother, let's calm down. Let's just agree to disagree, because this ain't going nowhere, But, that's how it is.
And the Islamic service that were held in there, they were were they in some type of room or some type of building or something? And was it shared with the Christians or anything like that, or is it just strictly for whoever, for different times?
It was the same building, because how the yard is built. It was a building shared with Christians, shared with other denominations, faith. It was just a lot of times would be a lot of dates and times we would have to share the building with the same. Because I went to the same building as a Christian that I went when I converted. Crossed over. It was the same building, but it's just different times. So it wasn't really set apart like no.
Okay, and for Islamic service and being a Muslim in Nevada State Penitentiary. I know as far as California State Penitentiary, certain races cannot attend because of prison politics in there, and their people won't let them attend. As far as the Mexicans and whites, they can't attend Islamic service. Only blacks and Asians can attend in California. Now, Nevada State Penitentiary, is it, what race can attend? If any, or all can attend? Can you explain?
Yes, and I see, that's how California, and they're like more, what I like to call it is Nevada has always tried to play catch up in a sense. Like they try to emulate California. It's not as serious with race. They have the rules outside of services, but every and any race can come to services. They're not going to have an issue. Now, if they belong to like a certain gang, they may say, no, you can't go, or no, you can't share with them, because you can't, with different races, you can't share food and all this and that. But as far as attending the services, I haven't found in my experience that they're stopping. Only way they would stop them from going to service if they're having like a set meeting to where something got set off and there was like tensions between them. But if there was no tensions at that time, they would allow them to go. But if there was tensions to where something got off, to where there was an issue, a conflict with another race, no, they couldn't go to service because they had to be together. They had to choose. Only when in times of conflict between different races would they stop from going to service. If it was just a regular day-to-day, you can go by all means. It wasn't an issue. Nevada isn't that strict as far as politics, but they have some politics. It's just not as hard or as pushed severely as California.
So, from my understanding, from what you're telling me, as long as they're not gang affiliated, right? As long as they're not from a certain prison gang, they can attend Islamic services. They would have to be a non-affiliate, pretty much, whatever race they might be. That's what I'm getting out of your answer. And furthermore, do they have a Muslim car in there? And how does the Muslim car react to that, as far as like, joining the Muslim car and getting out of there, and totally, running with them besides running with their people?
How that works, what I saw is if they did run with, whatever gang it was, then yes, they would ultimately, when it came down to it, choose. And if you were running with that gang and say you wanted to go to services, they would make you choose. You're either going to run with us or you're going to go to service with them and basically be an outcast. Because as far as the Muslim card, there wasn't a Muslim card as far as a united front. It was a loose affiliation. Like, that's the Aki there. That's him. If there's an issue, I got his back. Or if you need something, hygiene, canteen, whatever it is, I'll get him. But as far as clicking up as a gang mentality, it wasn't there. We were just there basically together as Muslims, but it wasn't like a gang clique, because at the end of the day, it's not the gang. The gang is not as strong because how the yard's set up. You have to understand, Nevada, if there's any tensions, like they shipped a lot of shot callers and a lot of old lifers to Arizona to get them out. And there's some yards where it's totally PC. And so any type of if you ever have any type of something on your file, you're shipped to it's maximum called Ely. It's like in the middle of Nevada. So there wasn't too much pushing of that issue, because how the warden or whoever's in charge set up the yard. It's always like people with low points, low yard points on there, so it wasn't pushed. And if someone did push it, certain yards, then it'd be so open that someone would go tell, or someone would go talk to a CO, and that person would anonymously get removed from either that unit or that yard. So it's a lot different as far as that aspect. It's more open. It's more loosely affiliated than a unity. found little unity in the Muslims only when it comes to like Ramadan or certain strong, knowledgeable Muslims. It was more of an individualistic, not to talk down about them, but that's the reality of the situation. They were still my brothers and everything, but I found like the gangs had more stronger ties than some Muslims. But that was my perception, and it might not have been the total truth, but that's what I saw in my experience.
Okay. I have no more questions, but if you have anything else to add before we close this video, you're free to.
Okay, I would just like to end this video by thanking you, Aki, for the opportunity to say my piece and get this information out there, and basically to any Christian or any person wavering, I would ask them just to keep an open mind to the possibility things might not be always correct in history as far as your information. Always have room to have doubt. In Islam, I believe we call it Allah anhu, where Allah knows best. We may not know everything, so we can give it up to the one and only Creator. We don't worship the creation. We worship the one Creator. And that's one of the main things what turned me from Christianity. Realizing when I asked the pastor, is it okay to pray to Jesus? He told me yes, because he's God. Nowhere in the Bible will I ever see anybody praying to Jesus. It's only after he left the earth have I found people started worshiping him as a creator. When he even himself many times prays. He's not praying to himself. He's praying to the one and only. That's what I find. There's no passage that for me would support Christianity. And I even hear some Christians say Jesus was a Christian. It's like saying Abraham was a Jew. There's nowhere in the Bible that says these things. These are terms later attributed to him. Islam, submission to the Most High God, by its very definition, the name is far superior than any faith group because it gives a blanket understanding of what you're following. Muslim, a person who submits his will to the Most High, can be any person following their Creator by their instructions. And that's why, another reason why I stay in Islam, and that's why, to me, Islam, being a Muslim, by its very title, is far superior and more truthful than any other way of life on earth. Thank you.
Yeah, and and thank you, brother. And this concludes our video. Don't forget to leave a comment, like and subscribe to my channel and support my channel. Brother Javon, I appreciate it. Barakallahu Feek for letting me interview you. I hope you have the rest of your day. Inshallah, hope you have a good day. And assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, Aki. Rahmatullah.